The book of Esther tells the remarkable story of how God saved the Jewish people through the courage and obedience of a young woman named Esther. Although God's name is never mentioned in the book, His providence is evident on every page. Memory verse. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther 4:14, NKJV. Esther becomes Queen King. Ahasuerus removed Queen Vashti after she refused his command. A search began for a new queen, and Esther, a Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai, was chosen. The king loved Esther more than all the other women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins. So he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Esther 2:17, NKJV. Mordecai saves the king. Mordecai overheard a plot to assassinate the king and warned Esther. So the matter became known to Mordecai, who told Queen Esther, and Esther informed the king in Mordecai's name. Esther 2:22, NKJV. Although Mordecai received no immediate reward, God had not forgotten. Haman's wicked plan. Haman hated Mordecai because he refused to bow before him. But Mordecai would not bow or pay him homage. Esther 3:2, NKJV. Haman convinced the king to issue a decree to destroy all the Jews. Esther chooses courage. Mordecai challenged Esther to act. For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther 4:14, NKJV. Esther answered with great faith, I will go to the king, which is against the law, and if I perish, I perish. Esther 4:16, NKJV. She called for 3 days of fasting before approaching the king. The king receives Esther. When Esther entered the throne room, the king extended his golden scepter. So it was, when the king saw Queen Esther standing in the court, that she found favor in his sight, and the king held out to Esther the golden scepter. Esther 5:2, NKJV. God gave Esther favor. God reverses everything. That night the king could not sleep, so one was commanded to bring the book of the records of the Chronicles. Esther 6:1, NKJV. The king discovered that Mordecai had once saved his life but had never been rewarded. Instead of hanging Mordecai, Haman was forced to honor him publicly. Esther reveals the truth. At the second banquet, Esther exposed Haman's evil plan. For we have been sold, my people and I, to be destroyed, to be killed, and to be annihilated. Esther 7:4, NKJV. The king was outraged. Haman falls. The gallows. Haman built for Mordecai became the place of his own execution. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Esther 7:10, NKJV. God turned evil into victory. God's people are saved. The Jews defended themselves and celebrated God's deliverance. The Jews had light and gladness, joy and honor. Esther 8:16, NKJV. Life lessons. God is working even when we cannot see Him. God places people where they are needed for His purposes. Prayer and fasting prepare us for victory. Courage grows through faith in God. God can reverse impossible situations. The enemy's plans cannot overcome God's purposes. Supporting scriptures. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Romans 8:28. All things work together for good to those who love God. Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Joshua 1:9. Be strong and of good courage.